Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this demo video, I'm going to show how to utilize application load balancer to distribute HTTP traffic among the containers running in Elastic Container Service. So to demonstrate that, I will be building a simple application. That application will simply display the IP address of the server when requested at root URL. Also, I will be implementing health checkpoint so that we can configure our application load balancer for the health check. So this is the flow of this demo. First, I will build a simple application using FastAPI, and I will be running it on my local laptop, and just to see how it works. After that, I will be building a Docker image using a Docker file and run that Docker image on my local PC just to see it is working as expected. When everything goes well, I will be creating a repository in Elastic Container Registry and push the image that we will be creating. I will be using AWS command line to create and to push image into the repository. Then after, to deploy this app in Elastic Container Service, I will launch cluster. I will be using serverless Fargate type cluster. After cluster is ready, I will be preparing a task definition for our container, which is nothing but just defining how our container should behave, the things that we do on a Docker. Then finally we will deploy it as a service, and then we will configure application load balancer. So at the end of this demo, I'm hoping that when new instances are added, our application load balancer will be able to pick up on the new IP addresses, and it will be routing the HTTP traffic among the containers using a round-robin method. I will also demonstrate how to use a sticky session. I will be configuring a sticky session using application load balancer so that when the user requests the server and the session remains to be with the same server until a certain time. Okay, this is the total workflow of this demo. So I will be starting with writing a simple application that uses FastAPI. Okay, so let's begin. The first thing first, I already have installed, I'm using Ubuntu, and I already have installed Python 3 and Python 3 VENV that we need to create a virtual environment. But I will show you the command how to set up the environment for writing this simple app. Okay, let's update the package index first. So this is very important step before we install any new application, because after we update the package index and when we install a new app, it will be up to date. So we need three packages for this to set up the environment to develop simple app. Sudo in Ubuntu we use apt package manager, apt install python 3 space python 3 hyphen benv. That's what we need, python 3 benv for creating virtual environment. And also I want to have the pip. This is a Python package manager, so we can install Python related module using this pip module. Okay, hit enter, and mine is already up to date, so it didn't take me long time. So once I have it, now let me initialize the virtual environment, which is a very simple command. Python 3 space hyphen m and type benv and give it any name that you would prefer. I will simply give benv and hit enter. Okay, and I'm going to list it, and benv is ready. So now I need to turn it on, so which is very simple in Ubuntu: source benv and bin activate. So now you can see the virtual environment is activated. So this is how we know virtual environment is activated. Now we can install any packages inside this virtual environment, and that will be completely isolated from the system, and this is a very good practice. Okay, so we need to install a few things here because I need FastAPI. So without any delay, let me install this pip install. Or if you want to upgrade the pip before installing FastAPI, that's a good practice. So let me upgrade the pip first. Pip install pip -- upgrade pip. So it installed the latest pip now. Now I'm going to install FastAPI. Pip install FastAPI. That's it. Hit enter. Okay, beautiful. So it's been installed, and I'm going to use Vid1 to run my app. So let me install Vid1. Pip install Vid1. Okay, it is also installed. Let me clear the screen, and so to see which packages we just installed, simply run this pip freeze. Then we can see we have installed a number of packages here. We can see we have FastAPI, we have Vid1. That's good. Now we can start from here. So let me start with creating a file for our app. So nano, I will call it main.py. Okay, so main.py is the file name, but also later will be used as a module. So module will be like main without any extension. So let me open this. Okay, now we can import FastAPI, right? That's what we need. From FastAPI, import FastAPI. Yeah, that's how we write module in Python. F is capital and API is also capital. Okay, now that's we have a FastAPI module now. Now we can instantiate an app object. So basically app equal to FastAPI and this. So this will instantiate an app object. Okay, this is object oriented style programming. Now what do we need? So we want our user to access at root URL, and we want to display the server IP, right? That's a very simple app. So what we do is, first of all, we need to let me write a comment here. So root URL. So we use a decorator. So add is a Python decorator, and app dot, and it's a get request. So we put get, so and slash. So what does this mean is, when a user requests at at the root URL, what does that mean? When a user requests at http / whatever server IP, whatever the port is listening on. Yeah, when the user requests at this address, so what do you want to do? We want to do something, right? We want to display the server IP. So that's where we define our function. So let's define our function just like in Python. To define a function, we write def, and let's give some descriptive name. Let's say display server IP, and just like in Python, and colon. Yeah. So now let's write the body of this, the logic. So this logic right now, I just leave it blank because I want to use the terminal to figure out the way to get the IP. Once I know what logic I can write, then I will come back and fill this body of the function. I also need one more thing here. What I need is health check point, right? So health check point. So for the health check point, the request will be made at /health status. That's how we want to do. You can do anything you like. So it will be app dot again get, and inside double quotation or single quotation provide the path. It will be health status. So what does that mean? When a user requests this URL, let me write that URL, http the server IP or server domain name or domain. So let me go with the server IP at the moment. Server IP colon whatever the port the server is listening on, and /health status. So when the request URL is like this, we want to give them the health status, like a status code like 200. So that's the logic we'll be writing here. So write a function for that, def say display health status and colon. So we can return very simple, hit enter and tab, space tab, and give it simple thing, because just return a dictionary. Okay, so dictionary has a key and a value, right? So what is our key? Simply say status. And what's our value? Our value is simply okay, that's fine. Now that's it. Now we don't need to do anything here. We don't need to define underscore name underscore equal to underscore main underscore anything like that. because this application will be actually run by ubeacon. So no need to worry about that. What we need to do now is we need to figure out the logic to get the server IP address. Okay, so let's save it here now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use sub process. I feel a little bit more comfortable with Linux command. So there is a way to get the server IP address, especially public IP address. So if I run this command, call ipinfo.input/output/IP, I get the server IP address, public IP address. That's the public IP address. So what I want to do is get this IP address, but using Linux-like command. Okay, so how to do that? Let me start Python here in the terminal and import sub process. So using sub process, we can use the native Linux command to get the information, whatever information we can get using Linux command. For example, I could say ls in Linux, but Python doesn't understand. But using sub process, we will be able to get the output of ls command, just like in Linux. But here I'm not after ls, right? I'm after the IP address. So what I need to run here is sub process dot. If you hit tab, it will give you all the option. But what I now need is running something. So the command is this. Okay. Now what command I'm running? I'm running call IP info dot input output /IP. That's the command I'm running. And if I just hit this now, what happens? Definitely I will have lots of error messages because I need to tell it run like in a shell. So shell equal to true. Now I'm happy to hit enter. You see, we got the IP address here, and it also written completed process, the written code, right? So we want to capture those output. So let me write one more argument, capture output equal to true. Now it will not display anything because it just capture it, but that's what you see when you run that call.ipinfo. Okay, now I want to get this as a text equal to true. So now I know what does it returns when I run it. So I want to store this in a variable called IP and hit enter. Now we have variable IP. So we know in Python, once we define the variable, now we can access the value stored in the variable, right? For example, IP dot, using a dot notation, what else can I access? I can access arguments, written code, standard output, standard input. Let's go one at a time. If I do this, that's the argument we provided, right? If I do IP dot return code, which is definitely 0, yeah. And what's the standard output? std out, that's the IP address. Is there any error? std error? Well, it thinks that's error, but that's not error. That's okay. std out, that's what I need. So let's use this logic to get the IP address. So what I'm doing is I'm copying this here, cancel this and exit from here and open my the Python file, and I can go ahead and just write the logic here, and I want to call it IP equal to, I need to give it a tab, yeah. So IP, let's say formatted equal to ip.std out, that is standard output. Now we want to display that output, right? So which is very simple here, return. So we are returning the IP address. So what I can do is, in a formatted string format, just say server IP address is, and again the curly bracket, and access the value of the variable IP formatted. That's it. So we are done here, but still we use sub process module. We need to call it, right? Import sub process. Now let's go ahead and run this app. I don't see any missing for the simple app. Just let me save this and run this app. So we already have installed Vid1. So if I type UV and hit tab, it's in the path. So now to run this app main.py, first I need to provide the module name. What's the module name? Main is the module name, and the colon and the name of the app. So we said inside this module app equal to FastAPI. That's our app. So app. Let's hit enter. What happens? Looks like it's running, and you can say we can access this at this address. Okay, it's listening on a port 8000. So I'm just copying this and opening my browser, and I will paste here. So right now I'm accessing at the root URL, okay, and it should return me the public IP address of my PC. When I hit enter, it gives me that IP address. Server IP address is this. So we are ready. Looks like our app is enough for our demonstration, because this is just a simple demo. We are not doing anything here because in our application load balancer, we just want to see the server IP address is changing, just to confirm the application load balancer is doing its job, right? This server IP should be enough. Let me check its health status. So if I just go and type /health status / hit enter, status, okay, yeah. But the main thing is, let me open this here and here. If you hit X, when the request is made every time, you see there is a status code 200, okay, for every successful that you get when there is a successful when the request is successful. I think that's enough for us, because we can actually configure our application load balancer to check the status code 200. So if our application is returning the status code 200, then our application load balancer will consider the app is healthy. Okay, that's what we need. So that's it in this video. So in the next video, what I do is I will show you how to build a Docker image from this setup. Okay, see you in the next video.